Okay, we're on a second clutch basket here. Rivet job. Installing the kicker plate. I'm going to do the same thing we did just got done doing, except different stuff. Okay, this is a 97 thou thrust washer. We're taking out the 92.3, whatever's in it. So, clean the burrs off with mahogany stone. I'm going to do a mock-up and see if it's too tight. So this one here, we stuck a new bearing in there. The bearing goes in flush on this side, sticks up on this side. This washer goes in here, this little dowel pin right here, which is a roll pin. Keeps that washer from rotating. And you got the thrust washer goes in here, and then the plate goes on top. Kicker plate goes on here, and we got to make sure there's clearance here of 1 to 3 thou that we're shooting for. Now this one here, I've done all the back cutting on the teeth. See them or not. And this one here, they had screws in here, so I'm using oversized rivets and stuff to make it all work. Lots of headaches. Let's go see if this is going to fly or not. So, stick it over here. Look at my ass. That's good. Okay, we stick it up here in the press. Line up the plate where it's going to sit. Should set that right there. I'm going to use a tube just to push on the plate, put a little pressure on it. This is basically going to duplicate being riveted in, more or less. Put a little pressure on there, and you reach up below and see if the washer is free to move in there. It's nice and free, and you feel up and down, see how much in-play you can get out of it. It's got some, but I can't really tell how much. I can barely feel any movement. Of course, I'm working on the tips of my fingers too, but I'd guess there's probably around 3 thou, 3 to 4 in there maybe. Somewhere between 2 and 4 thou would be my guess. Judging by the last one that had 1 thou. So basically what I'm doing, it's all pushed in here like this. You're just feeling for in-play in here. You can see how there's very little in-play in it, and I'm just holding it like that. Scooby, you don't like that? So that's how you do it. Scooby doesn't like fireworks. Scooby don't like fireworks? What'd they do? Did they shooting at you over there? Did they shoot at you? Look at that dog. You're out of balance, aren't you? Shaking already. Come on, look out. Let's go. Come on. Got some leftover fireworks from the 4th of July, I guess. Scooby's not going to be happy. He's already been underfoot all day. He's going to be even more under my feet now. Come here, Scooby. What's your problem? Oh yeah, you're out of balance. Scooby's out of balance. Scooby's got the shaking going on down here. Hey, come up here. Come here. Come here. What's your problem? Yeah, they're not shooting at you. Yeah. Scooby's out of balance again. Alright, stay put. Alright. See if he knocks over the camera. Come here. Get over here. Come on. Get over here. Sit down. Get over here. Sit. There you go. Come on, get over here. Good boy. He likes sitting between my legs right here. That's how you... Deadens the vibration. Alright, so now I gotta figure this out. Scooby, quit shaking. Okay, so now we gotta see if our tooling, which we got up here, we just got done doing the other one on. This part here, we have to measure how deep the dowel sticks in. So we just had to remake all this stuff on the other guys. Oh, there's more banging. Scooby's gonna be happy today. Okay, here's the special rivets I ordered up. They're 3/16, just got a little small ones, and they're really long also. first ones I ordered up were too short, so I ordered up some more. Ordered up another 100 and something more of them. I also had to cut the plate out bigger for 3/16 rivets, so now they fit in there. I destroyed a carbide drill because this is super hard. So first thing I do is figure out how deep these rivets go in here, and if they'll even go in the hub. Okay, looks like they're going to go in there. Hopefully they line up. There we go. So I haven't tried these yet, so they appear to be going in there. Where's the rivet I had out? Oh, there it is. Okay, we got 4 of them in there and they seem to fit. Okay, now these are sticking way high up in the air. A lot higher than the other ones I just got done doing. So now we're going to measure these. See how deep they are. That's going to judge what I'm going to do on my dowel pin. 32 on that one. 20. 30. 31 and a half actually. 31 and a half. Okay, so we're going to have probably 35 thou stick up minimum. So where's my tool at? Okay, this dowel pin here, the rivet sits on top of this. And right now I got, we just did it with 80 or 72 thou sticking up right now. So the other dowel pin, it was the old dowel pin, it had 45 I think sticking up. So I could probably put the old one back in and use it again, which is this one. So I think I'll do that. That'll make it a little bit easier. I'll have to shim up the basket with shims like this up here to keep it from rattling back and forth. So we'll figure that out too. Alright, so that's good. Okay, so far all this stuff looks good. Now, the last problem we got is this is supposed to align this, and it doesn't do a very good job. The first one came off of here. This one here might sit in deeper. It's a little bit looser than I like, but that would be close enough. So, will this assemble like that? That is the question. The first thing is put the dowel pin in there. Lay that on top of that dowel. Put a plate on there. A couple of rivets in there. And then see if this tool will actually do what I need to do. It looks like it's just catching on it. And none of that you were looking at. So we'll move it up here at the top where you can kind of see what's happening. There we go. Get up here and higher up in here where you can see. Okay, so this tool I made is dual purpose, so it works on the small ones and it works on the big hole. But this is still a little bit on the loose side. But after I put a bunch of rivets in there, I bet you it doesn't rattle around hardly at all. Yeah, still got a little bit more than I want in there. Okay, well, we'll just put the first one there relatively lightly and kind of self-center it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're just gonna go for it. See what happens. The next problem is, do I have enough horsepower here in the rivet machine here to collapse that rivet? And I'm not sure if I do or don't. The stock rivets are a lot smaller diameter, not 3/16, only about 140 thou or 50 thou, not 190 thou. So that might be a problem. Okay, next problem is I got to change out the dowel here. So I take this tool and this, and go over the milling machine. I'm going to work over here for a minute. Keep going back and forth to different areas. Okay, we're going to beat on my mill table like you're not supposed to do, because I don't care. So I got to get this pin out. I purposely put a hole all the way through here that I can do that. I engineered this thing. Planned ahead. Oh, nice. Punch has been punched too many times already. There, the dowel's out. I can see about getting this out because it's mushroomed it out a little bit. It won't come out. Well, that's what they make vices for. So you just got to go over here and use the vice and yank it out, or the drill. Actually, I'll use the lathe. We'll hold it in lathe down here. It'll be better. Go. Alright, so now I can get the punch in and out now. I knocked off the burr that was on the tip, so now it goes back in like it's supposed to do, pulling it out. Okay, so now we got to put the shorter dowel in there. Should be this one. Actually, I need to cut that one down a little bit. This one's 560. This one's 590. You cut off about 10 thou or so off that. Alright, so we're going to put the short one in there. Actually, it doesn't matter if I leave it long. I'll leave it long. It's hard to make them longer after you shorten too much. It's down all the way. So there we go. So it sticks up only a little bit now. Let's see how much it sticks up. $13 thou. 42 on that side and 43. And the rivet was 31 and a half, 32. So this is 10 thou higher than what we need, so that's close enough. I can live with that real easy. And I'll put the long rivet back in here so we don't lose it. Specialty tools. Alright, so it looks like I designed the other tool to be correctly designed. So I don't have to remake that whole damn piece again, which would be a pain in the butt to do. That'd take me an hour or two to cut that again. Probably a couple hours to make that tool. To remake this tool here. Takes a while to do this stuff. They just don't fall into what shape you want. Be nice if it did. Be nice if somebody else made it besides me too, but oh well. Okay, so this here goes on the hole right here. Centers it up. Allows you to pivot 360 degrees around and still be on center. And we're on the center of the the rivet, the punch, whatever you want to call this damn thing, the ram. So that's this piece here. So anyway, that just goes down and pushes against that and crushes the rivet. So this piece is starting to get worn, doesn't want to stay up there anymore. This is a Harley clutch spring out of a knucklehead panhead. It puts pressure on the plate, you'll see that in a minute. So right now this is all being held in there, so go ahead and lubricate this all up. Pre-lube all the bearing. And we should be able to assemble it up. So you want your bearing to have lube on it. You don't want it to be dry in there. It's easy to do it now, it's hard to do it later once it's assembled. I already replaced this bearing, so it's good. Okay, so I'll put some more grease, oil in there, some lube. Let's make sure this fits in there. There you go, fits nice and cleanly. Good. This is the thin thrust washer we took out. Now the bearing sticks up on this side and it pushes in flat against this side here, inside of here. So that's how you know what depth to put it in at. Okay, so this goes on that dowel pin just like before. Pops in. A little bit of assembly lube on here. Now, the reason you don't want to hold the clutch in on these early bikes, like they tell you to do on new bikes, because it burns up the darn washers. This is not a thrust bearing, it's a thrust washer. It rubs against this thrust washer here, like that. And the other side rubs against this plate. There's no bearing here. When you're holding the clutch in with your hand, this washer is rotating at full RPM, depending on how much you're revving the bike up. And there's a little bit of a side load on it. It starts to burn up the washer. So that's why you don't hold the clutch on an old bike. You learn how to use neutral. That's what it's for. Okay, so that's all pre-lubed now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and preload all these bearings in here. And you can see how somebody had threaded screws in here at one time. So that's why we're switching this out. Okay, these are all preloaded right here. Pull back on this a little bit. Okay, and on the other side, there's all sticking through. That's how much we got to collapse these down. Now these might be too long, I'm not sure. The shorter ones I got are shorter by 1/8 of an inch. So they're only going to have like this much holding power instead of that much. So I think that's too little. This might be too much. We'll find out. Okay. So here's my alignment tool. It has a dowel on it. And it lines with the dowel that's in the center of this. And this tool also holds the rivets in so they don't fall out. And see, this just goes in here and lines everything all up. This out of the way. Okay, make sure that all works like it's supposed to. Appears to be good. Okay, I'm going to find my hole here for riveting. So this dowel over here is where the first rivet's going to be. This is where the rivet pushes on. It's right where that pin is. Okay, that is on that one right there. Problem with this now is getting this to assemble. With the stock rivet it barely fits, and with this one it looks like I don't want to go. There it goes. Okay, no matter where I put this, it still stays on center. Appears like I'm up by at least 20 thou on both sides. These shims are 10 thou each. I got two of them, it's 20. Okay, that keeps the rock out of it a little bit. Keeps it centered better. Okay. Now I got a spring up here I'm going to put tension on it with. Right here. That just comes down. I use this here as a spacer. I just put in there to hold it. Okay, that puts tension on it. Okay. So we don't know what's going to happen here. We know I'm going to compress the rivet a little bit, just how much I don't know. It blows back. Okay, so as I work the hydraulic ram, which is down over here, porta power, right there. I pump that. This is a hydraulic cylinder up in here. It's going to collapse this down, and this is going to go down. The spring's going to compress down until the driver hits the rivet, and then it compresses the rivet down until I run out of pressure. And then we'll see if it's enough or not. We're also going to have to get this to center up a little bit, so I'm just going to come down a little bit until this plate doesn't move, and I'm going to stop at that point because I want to use the rivets to kind of center this up a little bit. That way it can't be off center too far. Right now I've got this in here, but it's got clearance on it, so it's not as good as I want it to be. Okay, so right now I'm just kind of feeling where I want to be in the middle. About there. Okay, let's go ahead and pump this thing up, see what we got. See how the spring gets a little tighter? That pushes the plate down against the basket. Now I'm starting to rivet a little bit. Still move the plate. Okay, the plate quit moving, so I'm going to stop at that point. Let's go up here and see what we got. Okay, you can see how the rivet is just starting to buckle out a little bit. It's just starting to bubble. And locked up the plate. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and try to go over to one of these other rivets. Okay, so I went over about a third the way around the circle. I'm going to go ahead and put a little pressure on this one. Okay, try this again. Okay, a little pressure on it. Looks like. Okay, that one's a little bit more bubble down than the other one, so it is collapsing it, which is good. I wasn't sure if it would do it. Okay, I'm gonna go over another third and do the other one. Hopefully that will center up the gear. And okay, this time I'm gonna go ahead and crush it all the way down. Forgot to put shims underneath the ratchet plate here. Okay, that's pressure on it. Shim these up a little bit to keep some of the basket wobble around. This keeps the basket more flat so it doesn't go in sideways. You only have that much plate now. This way you got a little bit, this way here not much. Okay, and this time I'll go ahead and crutch it all the way down. See what we get. Alright, that's full pressure. And to mash the rivet down, this tool is too small to really do what we need to do. So what we need to do is get a bigger tool. Alright, so the rivets are way too big to do what we need to do on that. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that's not right now. Alright, let's go and pull this out of here. Okay, so we're going to do about all of this stuff here. Whoop. Lots of rivets. Rivets are falling out everywhere for some reason. They must not be riveted in. Now the rivet's falling out, it's a good thing. That means the plate's centered up pretty good. If the plate was offset, not centered, these rivets wouldn't go in and out. See how they're coming in and out like they're supposed to? So that means I got the plate centered up really good. That's a big plus. Okay, our washer's good and free. That's good. Okay, so the disadvantage is you see how we're getting a big, the rivet is bigger than what the rivet tool is, so it's crushing metal sideways. So the other thing is this countersink in here is not big enough to take up all the material that we're shoving in, so we're getting a lot in there. That riveted real nice under here, so that's good. So the biggest problem is the rivet piece here, whatever the hell this thing's called, is too damn small. So you can see how small a head this thing is. It's way too dinky. So I need to get a different one of these. And I custom made this, so I'll have to make another one. We're going to make it with a bigger head. Okay, so I gotta go find me a bunch of rivets. Piece to use for that. There's some of the rivet that collapsed off in there somewhere. That's stuff that goes in your bare feet when you're not looking. Okay, so I need one of these. So I gotta go find one of these. You're gonna go down to the auto parts store and buy these, can't you? Probably not. Alright, I got a few of them laying over here. Hopefully we got what we need in here. We'll see. Not that drawer. Probably not that drawer either. That one. closer. There we go. Ew, that looks like crap. Alright, so you can see how this one's bigger, but you can also see how it's pretty torn up. But that's okay. It'll hold the rivet. It'll actually rivet the thing out decently. But it's going to crush a lot bigger than what that is, I'm sure, because the other one did. Alright, so that's a maybe. The height is okay. We're good on that. So looks like you can make this work pretty easily. Alright, so that's one we don't have to worry about damaging it because it's already a piece of crap. Okay, this one here is, I don't know what the hell this thing does. It's not going to do what I want to do. This one's for going around corners. Or bent. That ain't going to help me any. That's a good size, but it's bigger than you need, see? And it's too short. That one's really bent. That's a flat one. Nope. 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 Nope, nope, nope. See, that's a nice, that's too big. And this one here, something happened to that one, it's gone. Okay, looks like I only got one left. So if any of you got these laying around extra you want to get rid of, feel free to send them to Tatro Machine. If you're an old retired rivet guy, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. These appear to be bigger ones yet. Yeah, that's for big boys there, I guess. So out of all the ones I got, looks like we got one to choose from. So, see, now that's our limitation. I think I'll probably just use that one that we got to use. This doesn't fit in here. There. It does if you do it right. Now, see, these are the springs I was going to try to use for doing what that Harley spring does, but the Harley spring's actually stiffer than these. And they fit, whereas these don't fit. See, these won't fit over my tool. Looks like I'm going to turn that down a little bit too, it looks like. Alright, so this is all I got to use. Yeah, we just have to make it work. Fun with the lathe. That's pretty good. I had to make one tool for the other guy. I have to make one tool for this job. This is pretty straightforward. I just got to duplicate this. Okay, I need the springy here. You can see I bent a curve on it to make it work. So we're going to take this. Let's see, I'm going to need a mic. Bring along my mic. I don't think I need a caliper, but put in the caliper too, just in case. Alright, let's go make some tools. Yeah, should be easy. I made one before, so it shouldn't be too hard to make another one. I got a sample now. The first one I didn't have a sample, I just kind of made it as I went. Making it a second time around is always easier. Hopefully. Ooh, I almost dropped my calipers. Okay, so the first thing we gotta do is we gotta get the height of this figured out. It's a little bit lower. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I need to turn this down to the length here. And it looks like I shortened it up for a reason, probably because it was hitting on something. Okay, so we'll do that first.